What up, growers? It's Jordan. I'm going to give you a basic tutorial on how to plant a 10 by 20 tray with pea microgreens. Now, as you can see, we've pre-soaked them. It started out with the dry seeds about this level and the water up here, and as you can see, about 4.5 hours later, it's gone all the way to the surface. Pretty cool. So let's drain all the water out of our soaking jar. And what we want to do is we want to prepare our trays. So what we have is one tray with holes and 2 trays without holes. So let's spread those apart. First, what you're going to want to do is fill this up with some soil. So I filled my tray with holes with just about 1 inch's worth of soil in the bottom of the tray. So we just want to tamp it lightly, get it as even as possible with our hands. Now we're going to use one of the trays without holes as a bottom tray. Now what that means is I will fill the bottom tray with a little bit of water so that the soil stays nice and moist while the seeds germinate and take root. So I'm going to pour, just a little bit so the ridges fill up with water, and maybe there's about 1/2 inch of water above that. What you can do is you can take your tray with holes, the one you put the soil into, and nest it into your tray with no holes so that the water will be wicked up by the soil. The next step is we're just going to spread our pea seeds across the surface of the soil. And you want to get a nice even spread so that each pea can breathe, because if they get too crowded, it can lead to some potential rotting or just a poor crop because the roots don't have as much room to feel around and thrive and take hold on the soil. And if you have peas left over, you can leave them in your sprouting jar and allow them to sprout over the next couple days and just eat them as a snack or put them in a salad. They're freaking delicious. That's what I would say is a good seeding rate right there. You can cover it with some paper towels and keep those moist. But I prefer to cover pea shoots with just a little bit of soil because I feel soil helps regulate the moisture. It doesn't get too wet and it doesn't get too dry. So I'm just going to gently cover the rest of the peas. Now, many folks prefer to grow peas on hydroponic mediums, and it's a little bit more difficult because the seed can dry out pretty quickly if you're not keeping it moist, but it can also get too wet and lead to rot. So I just prefer to grow it in soil. We tend to have some really good luck with that. We do live in a drier climate, so we don't have to watch out for humidity as much, but if you do live in a place that's closer to sea level and there's a higher humidity, you may have to pay closer attention to how wet your peas are because, like I said, they are susceptible to rot. Now, your seeds don't have to be covered perfectly. If some of them are poking out, that's just fine. It's a nicely covered tray of peas. And one last thing I like to do is to give it a good heavy spray down, just so it holds that moisture for that period of germination so that they won't dry out. What you want to do is cover it with the other tray with no holes. Spray the inside with water, just so you get some nice droplets on there, and then you black it out for probably about 2 days. We'll check on it every day, and we'll update you on the progress. All right, it's day 3, and it's time to check on our green pea microgreen shoots. Now on day 2, we came and checked on it, and I took off the blackout dome tray and placed them under these lights. So let's check them out. As you can see, they've all germinated pretty evenly, and they're starting to reach up towards the light. We don't just want to pour water over the top. That could displace some seeds. And we also don't want to spray it because it might not adequately water the entire tray. So the trick that we do is something called bottom watering. And what you do is you lift up the tray with holes to expose the space in between, and you pour water into the bottom tray, hence bottom watering. So let's take our water and just pour directly in. I'm doing about 2 cups. which should be enough for the day. And so it'll wick up once again and provide water to the growing pea shoots. We'll have some delicious shoots to try. So, all right, guys, it's time to check on our pea microgreens. We've set them under the light, and it looks like they're doing great. It's been about 4 days. I think we got another 3 to go. So we'll just keep bottom watering it at least once a day, and we'll see you back here in 3 days. All right, the results are in on our pea shoots. They're right behind me here. We've been bottom watering them every day, checking the moisture, and you know what? They can even grow for another 2 days. But since we have a 10 by 20 tray, what I like to do is start harvesting them as I use them. So I don't like to harvest it all and put it in the fridge. I like to do just bit by bit as I use them, and they should be edible for, I would say, up to a week after this, if you just keep harvesting it and keeping the soil moist. But any longer after that, you'll probably get the stems will get a little tough, lose their flavor, but bam, here you go. This is some pea shoot microgreens. I hope y'all enjoy. Happy planting. If you like any of the content you're seeing, subscribe and hit that like button.